I wanted to test out my new KTM 390 Adventure on an overnight camping trip. So I packed up my gear and headed out towards Medicine Lake. It's a volcanic caldera in the remote part of northeastern California. The ride from my house in Southern Oregon was going to take about 3.5 to 4 hours if I didn't stop. I realized I usually stop off and on the way, so I would probably not get to my destination until the middle of the afternoon. There were two routes I could take. One was going to be mostly paved, and the other one I didn't know much about, but it headed through the national forest, and it looked like it was going to be gravel or dirt roads, and that's the route I decided to take. I headed south on the old Siskiyou Highway into California. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a wind that affected the audio on this first part of the ride.
So I've got camping gear, of course, all set on the bike here. And being a smaller bike, it's a little bit more cramped, I'll have to say, than my T7. I'm also wearing a backpack, which I don't like to wear, but for sake of space and accessibility and to have some water, I'm wearing a backpack today. And I can feel the backpack on my duffel bag in the back. So it's a little cramped. I may make some adjustments along the way to give me a little more room in the saddle. That's one of the disadvantages of downsizing. I knew that beforehand. The bike's going to be smaller. Is it going to be suitable for camping? I think so, but we'll find out here on this overnighter. Well, I'm off of the interstate highway. It didn't have to go that long. And here's a Chevron gas station. This is probably the last gas station I'm going to see for quite a while. I better fill up. Not sure when I'm going to get to another one, or I might have to go out of my way to get to a gas station. All right. Okay, that should be good for 200 miles, I'd say, anyhow. Not really sure how many miles I get on a tank of gas, but we'll find out. I'm going to turn down York Road. According to the map, this will get me over to where I want to go, but I don't know what the road's like and how long it is. So we'll see if this one works. The pavement does end. Well, it's quite the view out here. Rural pasture land, I think. See all the rocks, volcanic rocks in the soil. Not sure how good of grazing land it is, but people live back here. Many people think of California and they think of San Francisco or Disneyland. They think of the beaches and surfing and all the traffic in Southern California, Lake Tahoe, the Sierra Nevada, all that. The Golden Gate Bridge, which is true, but this is the far northeastern part of California that is very different. A beautiful old barn. I've always loved barns. Wooden barns, that is. Now this is a very nice road for an adventure ride. There's Mount Shasta way off in the distance. It's hazy and there's a cloud on the top of it, over 14,000 feet. Not sure the elevation I'm at right now, but you can see I've got a nice little paved section of road heading back up into the remote hills. We'll see where this goes. Fabulous road back here. It's all paved. A lot of potholes in it, but it's paved at some time. I'm going through private land. It's part of the Klamath Forest, not the Klamath National Forest, but it's a private timber company probably, and they allow a right-of-way through their land on this nicely maintained road. This is a terrific adventure ride road. I haven't seen anybody at all since I started on York Road. This is quite a surprise to me. I just picked on the map this road to get me to my destination. There's a couple of other routes. I was assuming it was going to be all dirt and gravel and take me, well, you know, most of the day to get here. And here I am on this nicely paved, well, it's roughly paved, but it is paved road, which is perfect for the 390. It's just made for this type of road. And that's one thing I do like about living in Southern Oregon. You have Southern Oregon and Northern California has just hundreds and hundreds of miles of roads like this, paved and unpaved, that are not traveled all that often, and they're great to explore with a small adventure bike. I stopped off at the side of the road because I saw this cabin. I think it says Steva Cabin, probably a homesteader's cabin. Beautiful meadow with aspen on the far side, looking like they're just starting to change the road because my phone stopped working. It's got, of course, it's my main phone. It's got my maps and everything else on it, and it seems to have shut off, and it's not shutting back on. Turning back on, I mean. I hope it didn't get jostled too much here from the vibration. Well, I can't seem to get my phone to turn on or to work. Fortunately, though, learning from past experience, I brought a spare phone. Now, I had troubles with having only one phone going through Mexico, since a phone is everything. You know, it's got all my, of course, if I'm in cell phone range, which I'm not here, I could call or text, but it also has all my mapping and everything else on it. So now it's paying off to bring a spare. And in case you're wondering about cell phone range, which I don't have cell phone range here, I always carry a satellite communicator also. So it's two phones, a satellite communicator, and old school, I also carry a map. So I can also use a map should I need to go old school too. So I like to be well prepared from past experience. Well, I'm at a decision point here. I'm just about 7 miles from the main highway, Highway 97, goes north and south. It's going to have a lot of trucks on it and stuff, but I could continue on to my campsite, which is still quite a ways away, on roads like this that I'm on now. This is a gravel road now, but it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I don't know what the roads are going to be like, and it's probably going to take me a few hours going, you know, at a slow speed like this to get to the campsite. So I think I've made the decision. I'm going to take Highway 97 north and then cut across. It's a longer distance, but it'll all be on paved roads, and drop me off into my campsite for tonight. Just going to play it safe. You know, I'm traveling alone. I don't want to get too tired. Still got a broken leg. So that's the plan. I just checked my old school map to make sure I'm going the right way, which I am. Over there is a mountain called Mount Dome. It's a volcanic dome. And over on this side, off in the distance, is called Mount Sharp, or Sharp Peak, I think it is, because it's got a kind of a sharp peak, I guess. So I'm entering back into the forest. Really haven't seen any cars or trucks or anybody again, but I think it may be paved at least most of the way to the campsite. So here we go. Well, for the last few miles I've seen nothing but burned trees, so this whole area was part of a recent wildfire. Wow, this was just a huge fire. It just goes on and on. I've been in it for many miles. But I wanted to stop the bike and take a look at the Medicine Lake lava flow over here. And tomorrow, maybe I'll get to fly my drone over it and see how big this area is. This is it. This looks like a good spot on the lake. Here's Medicine Lake. And look at this camp spot right here. Table, I get a view, get the lake, place for my tent, firewood already left. And the bike is just a few feet from where I'm at. I think I'm here for tonight. Woo! Well, I got the tent set up. The camp's pretty well set to go. I'm going to relax a little bit in my chair. A little bit of wine out of the box. Sun is setting right behind me. Temperature's pleasant enough for shorts. I'll start dinner in a minute, start the fire, but right now I'm just going to chill a little while and enjoy this beautiful spot. Wow. Well, when I go on a one-night motorcycle ride, I almost always just take a can of Dinty Moore stew. It's kind of become a tradition with me, and I look forward to eating that Dinty Moore stew, oftentimes just cooked over the fire. Very simple, don't have to mess around with a lot of cooking gear, and it is good.
Well, good morning. Ooh, it got cold last night. It's that time in September where the days are nice and warm, but the nights can get really cold. So I'm going to snuggle in my sleeping bag a little bit longer before getting up and getting my coffee and heading on with day 2 of my adventure.
The campground was perhaps 10% full this time of year. A Forest Service ranger stopped by and I talked to him about places to explore. He suggested a trail that I could go up to the lava flow that I had seen on my way into the campsite, and also a dirt road that led off into a pumice sink that would be interesting to explore. So I packed up my camping gear and off I went. Well, I'm on a destination hike this morning. I want to go back to that lava flow that I stopped briefly at right before I came to the campground last night. This is a trail about a half mile each way that leads out to it. It's a lava glass, I think it's called. It's very shiny. So we'll see if I can get to it and get some photos. I am hobbling a bit. I've got my walking sticks because I still have that injured knee that I talk about at times, which prevents me from doing very active things. I can still walk a bit. Riding the motorcycle doesn't cause any issue for me though, which is good. So the other good news is I got my phone working, which is what I'm filming this on right now. And that's good because I've got a better set of maps on here, and of course I've got data and I can call and text if I get in cell phone range. But I learned a lesson a number of times, but especially in Mexico last year when I only had the one phone which I relied on for my mapping, GPS, messaging, everything, and that phone went bad and all I had was a little paper map that didn't show a lot, and I had to navigate myself around until I got the phone fixed. So this trip, 2 phones, paper map, and my Garmin satellite messenger. So I'm in pretty good shape. I think that's the way to go if you're on a solo adventure like me. You've got to rely on yourself. There's no one else that you can always count on. So bring duplicates at times. And here is the lava flow. I'm on the other side. See if, I don't know if there's a trail up in the top or not. I'll see. Because that would be hard to climb with my leg. Well, I'm on my way back, but I've decided to go down this road here. There's a sinkhole back down here. I think it's a pumice sinkhole. It's only about a mile, so I'll go explore it as long as the road's okay.
it is, the Arnica sinkhole. I was talking to a ranger earlier. He said this is all pumice, which I can feel underneath the bike, slipped a little bit. So I'll just go down here, maybe park, walk out amongst the pumice and turn around and head back on my route.
I wanted to visit a lava tube cave on the way home, and I didn't realize that my GoPro camera mounted to my chin was sinking as I was riding, and my videos were showing mostly the bike and the road right ahead and not the vista. Well, I managed to get off the road into a dirt road that I thought would lead me to the lava tube cave. Instead, it led me through a number of illegal marijuana grows, including derelict homes and marijuana grows, and I just wanted to get out of that area. So I never did see the lava tube cave. The wind started to pick up. I decided I should just get home before dark and the wind gets too strong. So I'm headed in that direction. But overall, I had a good overnight trip, my first one on the 390 adventure, camping. A little bit cramped, as I said, but doable. Later in a future video, I'll give a review of my Tusk rackless luggage that I used on this trip. And I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time on one of my senior moments.